Thank you, Ramon, and thank you everyone for coming out this morning. I'd also like to thank our council member and our commission president, Sylvia Patsoris, for coming out and showing their support this morning out here. What a great turnout for this little park, and what a great community is Sunland-Tujunga. So just a little personal story. About a little over 10 years ago, probably, and I used to live right here in Sunland-Tujunga. I lived up off of Mount Gleason, right by the middle school. And as a matter of fact, my children attended that school, as well as Verdugo Hills High. But I used to walk in the mornings before work. I'd come down through the canyon and sometimes jog if I felt a little, excited that day. But mostly I would walk. But what a beautiful place. And you really... I mean, I grew up in LA. I grew up primarily in the city, down in kind of like Echo Park towards Dodger Stadium. But living up here, I felt like I was living in the mountains. I really felt like I was just somewhere else. And it's also a great community. I mean, people come together here. I was just talking to my son the other day. He still lives up in the area. And he told me that living in Sunland-Tujunga is like living in a big city, but living in a small town at the same time. And people know each other, and you go to, a local restaurant, and people walk by and they say hi. And you don't get that in other parts of the city, that often. So, What a great place.
Yay!
All right, someone.
Yeah!
And so, on my morning trips, I would see this property. And at the time, there was like a kind of a abandoned house and a pipe corral and a few other things here. But all of a sudden, one day, a for sale sign went up. And uniquely enough, across the street, there's like another 7 acres. And a for sale sign went up over there, too. So, working for the Parks Department, being in touch with the community, I realized we needed to save this property and turn it into a nature park. And we set out to do that, and we were able to identify funding at the time with the help of former council member Wendy Gruhl, who was instrumental at the time, as well as a number of community residents who were very much in favor of purchasing this property. We were able to buy this property, which is a little over 8 acres, although we could not get enough money to buy the other side, so we never were able to accomplish that dream. But with the purchase of this property, we were able to save, I think, a really valuable piece of historic land in Sunland-Tujunga to turn it into an equestrian nature park for the community and for everybody who wants to come in and see what this area really used to look like before the developments. So I'm really excited. I'm excited to be a part of it. I'm excited to see after all these years of the purchase that we're now actually able to start development. And I look forward to coming here. Maybe I'll take that walk again and stop here once the park is developed. So I congratulate all of you. There's going to be great features here. If you got one of the little, one of the little program handouts, there's a small graphic on the backside that shows you some of the features. And I know that our partners, our partners at the Bureau of Engineering are going to tell you a little bit more about the actual design and what the project's going to look like. Last thing I'd like to do is just point out a few folks from the community and thank you all for coming, as well as our staff. So first and foremost, this guy never needs any introduction because he's kind of world famous. Is Captain Torres around still? Albert Torres, our captain of the park rangers. The guy is all over the city and he's helping out with keeping our park safe. I'd like to also acknowledge Heidi Paul in our mounted unit. And Heidi's also a local from Lakeview Terrace. I saw Barbara Pleasant. Where's Barbara? Barbara is our maintenance supervisor for all of the Valley region and does a great job with all of our maintenance. I know there's some other Rec and Parks staff here and maintenance staff, although the sun is in my eyes and I can't see. But I did see Lloyd Hitt somewhere. Is Lloyd around? Lloyd, does a great job in the Sunland-Tujunga area. One of the longtime residents that's worked closely with Rec and Parks. We thank you for all your work at Bolton Hall and the other things that you do. And Mr. Siegel, the president of your neighborhood council, correct? Yes, sir. Thank you for all of your work and everything that you do. So with that, I'd just like to conclude my remarks and say I'm actually on behalf of Recreation and Parks and our General Manager, Mike Scholl. I'm really excited that we're going to be moving forward this project. I thank our council member, Felipe Fuentes, because he's been instrumental in actually getting the project moving forward now, and he does a great job in supporting the parks. I got to tell you, with our budgets being cut, with not being able to hire, with not being able to get more park rangers, with all the things that we're facing in the City of Los Angeles Parks Department, to have friends on the City Council like Felipe Fuentes is really important these days, because you need that. You need that to be able to continue to deliver these types of things. So again, thank you to everyone, and I think Ramon's going to come and introduce Gary Lee Moore, who's our favorite of all time.
Now, my pleasure to introduce our city engineer, and he has a task to deliver numerous projects throughout the city, and they always come out looking just the way everybody expects them. And they're, it's a great job, Gary.
Well, good morning, everybody. It is a real pleasure to be here. In case you didn't know, there's 469 square miles in the city of Los Angeles. You can go check our maps online if you doubt me. But, I've never had the pleasure to be in this spot in the city of Los Angeles, and it is special. I live in Koreatown, and we have a little more noise, and a lot more noise, as evident by many sirens last night. I live right in the heart of it. And this is just, it's special for the soul to come out here this morning. You just breathe in the comforts of the mountains and the hills and this great community. Councilman Fuentes, I got to know him when he worked in the council office before being elected. And you've taken it to a new level being a council.